This is from chapter 13 of the Book of Uncertain, a Hyperbiographical User's Manual, Volume 2. It's called Politely Escaping Knowledge in the Application of Uncertain. It begins with an epigraph by Alfred North Whitehead. Knowledge does not keep any better than fish. It's often necessary to escape knowledge when uncertain conditions threaten Western civ as we have come to know and to cherish it, which is where knowledge, such as it is, sneaks in, bringing backdoor requirements given who knows who will now come barreling through the front door without knocking, a new kind of Gnostic rap, with warrant or without. The game changed, presto changeo. And there we are, asphalt shattered, glass glint, siren, songs wail through crowd war, crack of wood on bone, counterpoint to visions of archonic, corrupted purple majesty and other knowledge, best ignored if you can't handle questions, lead into bewildered outskirts of pirate utopia's suburbs, past faded purple tatters flap limp in overheated air, near the Had, where an other side beckons, uncertain borders, a sign of advance, a kind of knock on the soul's gnoggin lights up the mountains without garish displays of majesty's color-coded lust for fruited plains, so they just glow, or maybe blush, radiate from within, the light heart of stone freed from brittle expectations, escaping knowledge into terra incognito. The very ground holds us to its surface through rounds of our daily darkness and light. When Sirius calls, listen, sweetie, is a prodigious adage of immaculate spunk, where spunk crystallizes flow from linden to metal via non-Indo-European loan words, and once again there you have it, lost in the stars. Where Sirius reigns, Loki's torch Lokabrenna, or Agrippa's Bahanian astro-theological barrel, a mineral whose hexagonal tendencies share the knowledge bees bring to honey storage, and bears news beyond usual wrap-up's turmoil of cosmic conflict, souped up with high-octane mental quirks to resemble some kind of ground that excludes noumena lodged in mountains, springs, trees, lakes, all in the name of knowledge apparatus's foregone subject funnel, leaves Sirius B at no further's mercy. A visual impairment certain leaves in the wake of adding up collateral collected on promise of the real deal, while Sirius B, not to mention C, opens portals beyond or within theories of contamination, to include original eruptions of strange content, continues to signal alternate routes through insatiable time's elusive coherence. Having lost the way as par for some course slips in and out of this vibratory frequency, now here and now here, where here populates immaculate intersections with immediate black holes, provide the key to understand the universe, if not for all that pesky math which, unlike these words, lacks sufficient confusion coefficient to qualify a world of historic crack-up's current universal truth meltdown, never more sexy than in the mouths of random wannabe tyrants, flattened through P.T. Barnum's philosophical insights into birth statistics. Confectionary temporal scattering follows close on self-evident truths, no longer held with the same warmth given Thomas Jefferson's no doubt communist agenda now seen in certain circles to offer far too much liberty and shit like that to people who haven't earned it, since instead of working at decent, God-fearing jobs like the rest of America, they were slaves, so they didn't even have to worry about getting laid off or fired or some commie trying to organize a union. You'd think they'd get over it. The road disappears in fog, rises off the bay, cold air's kiss leaves connections beyond the pale appearance moonlight insists on, if only to soften otherwise dour speculation on new status of needs end, of others' operational approval deemed necessary once, though ensuing freedom stall leaves vacancy-filled streets with despair, as if this mattered, as if skittering gun across poems' asphalt or color-coded passage through the doom door extends beyond home's old hunger for your soul, unredeemed morphogenetic memory, entangled spell in spite of sonal weave and crystal measure. That lattice or matrix recalls Schrodinger's contribution, slicing higher dimensional phase space at a point above reality's stony lock, reveals starlight coagulated in each leaf's life. The light woven into this flesh leaves what weaves and is woven, jammed up against Planck's little number, as inexplicable as, say, life, whose elementary fact rivals any mystery you'd care to face, even Schrodinger's wavy statistics, which leave only uncertain face to face with a bear, in which case Planck may have little to offer, no pun intended, when the choice resembles a vague list on cork-tacked flyer in the ranger station called What to Do in Case of Encounter, though you could measure the distance to the top of the tree in Planck length units. Not that that would make much difference, what with hot, rank breath on your ass, but statistically speaking, it's all up for grabs till Schrodinger's wave breaks, teeth connect or not. A concept difficult for mind to hold, and not just because it's got no hands and it's a wave, but the bear, also woven starlight, focuses a certain singular attention, tends to dispel fog and even roads if they're found to slow your ascent up the tree. Escaping knowledge is sometimes a matter of complementarity, a state of having your cake and eating it, which sounds good if a little confused, but as long as you get the cake, who cares if it makes sense, right? Though knowledge takes a gut punch, abandoned as if all those fiery auto-da-fés were for naught, which they were, though not quite the way Bruno anticipated, and look where that got him. Hey, we all know where this stuff comes from, he told the Inquisition, so I'll say nothing about yours and you just let me be. Sure thing, Gordy. As if the purveyors of knowledge, the dominators, our Father who art the boss, would dream of sharing their stranglehold on naming's lock with some weirdo quasi-Dominican pandeist magician with a delusion of an infinite universe of love. Cue Johnny Cash. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Which indicates the poem is restless, tired, and has had enough for one day. Knowing the road at this point is a far cry from some other point, if you know what I mean. Not that any of them matters much when the rubber hits it. as they say, often in unofficial nocturnal border crossing, cliff leap into black water, kiss snatched in corner shadows. Then the road takes a turn, and escaping knowledge takes place, often with pain of fractured assumption, which could take things toward arguments over whether she died or didn't before being transported to heaven, body or no body. It's never taken much to set hounds of conflict howling at each other, and of course, inevitable cleanup operations, jackboots. But no, being taken up is not the stake here, where knowledge equals a tabled elbow prohibition, as well as criminal determinations of other ways of doing it, burrowed deep into flesh's pre-knowing pit. That dark realm of gut punch leaves enlightenment optimism to dangle rationally from a tree limb. All that knowledge jerking and pissing its pants as the crowd gathers round for a photo with the smiling hangman lives next door. Speak to me as opening no longer has a leg to stand on when it's all closed down. Whitehead's bifurcation oozing through soul world stumps it. Body pulls mind, pulls body into allegorical contortions, much admired in grand halls, where living dogs, cut open to extract data, had nothing to do with dog's pain or its enduring love, licking the hand of its tormentor. Science, splayed on the table, but goes into encyclopedias of well-organized categories to further puff up reasonable delusions of knowledge. Smells like old fish.